Hey everyone, Mr. Amari here with your first Clickteam Fusion tutorial. This tutorial is going to show you how to open up Clickteam Fusion, how to use the basic elements of Clickteam Fusion in its interface, and this will also be our first in a series of tutorials for making our first game. Our first game is going to be a Breakout style or Brick Breaker style game. A very simple game to make. It's usually the first type of game I have people make when they start a new game engine because it's very simple design, but it also helps us figure out how to do all of the basic things we're going to need to do for all of our games coming later. We'll be doing more complex and different style games with each successive project, but this first one will seem very familiar if you've done a game design class with me before. Okay, so after you've opened up Clickteam Fusion, and yours is going to look a little different. I'm using the paid version. You guys are going to be using the free version. When you open it up, you'll have a screen that looks like this. You're going to ignore all the ads that are rolling on the side here. You're just going to go ahead and to where it says Start, you're going to click New Application. Once you do that, it's going to open up on the left side in the workspace, the application you have opened up. It should open up automatically your storyboard editor. That's what this screen is called. This is your storyboard editor. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look here. We can see that in our storyboard editor, we have what's called a frame. This is our first frame. It's titled Frame 1. We're going to leave it as Frame 1 for now. You're also going to see that it has two numbers here at the bottom. This is the size, pixel by pixel, going left and right, and then going up and down that the play area is going to be for your game. We're going to leave it at 640 by 480 for now. When we make some more complicated games, we'll make it slightly larger. But for now, a 640 by 480 screen will be more than enough for what we need to do. One thing to know about Clickteam Fusion is the way it works with what it calls frames in a storyboard. Basically, every screen that you're going to have is considered a frame. So if you have a start menu, that's a frame. If you have a level, that's a frame. If you're going to be going to a different level, or you're going to be loading up, like, say, a credit screen, or you're going to be loading up a game over screen, those will all be different frames. Now, on my version, I have unlimited frames I can do. You guys won't have that option. We're going to be limited to using 3 frames, but that's okay. For most of the games we're going to do, most of our projects, 3 frames will be more than enough. So one thing we're going to do here is once we have our storyboard editor up with the thumbnail of our frame, we're going to double click in this blank thumbnail, and that's going to open up your frame editor. So first thing we're going to do is we want to start making our Breakout style game. Now, our Breakout style game really needs at least 4 different things here, right? We're going to need the player character on the bottom. That's like a little paddle or something. We're going to need an object that bounces around. That's going to be like a ball or anything else you really want to put, but we're going to make a ball today. And then we're going to need to have walls. We want to make sure the ball doesn't go off the screen, right? We want to make sure that the ball, when it bounces, has edges to the screen where it's going to be able to bounce off of it instead of going off the screen. So we need to create walls. And lastly, we're going to make sure that we're going to create bricks that we have to actually break, right? So let's start with the player character. So in Clickteam Fusion, when you want to add something, you can go into your frame editor here, right click, and you'll see when you right click, a separate menu opens up. What you're going to do is you're going to click Insert Object. Now, you're going to have a bunch of options here. I have way more options than you guys do because, again, I have the paid version. What you're looking for here is the active object. That's what we're going to start with, because an active object is something you can directly control or move or have physics applied to, or you can really code and have do stuff. It's different from backdrops. Backdrops are really like backgrounds and things like that, and they're more things that will stay static and stationary. When we want to do things, though, we want to have something that's going to be moving around the screen. We want to make an active object. So we're going to click on Active. We're going to hit OK. Now you're going to see that your cursor turned into a crosshair, right? That's basically telling you, hey, we have something loaded up. You got to put it somewhere. So wherever I click to put this thing is where it's going to go. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put it right there in the middle of the screen. And you're going to see that it makes it into a little diamond. Now, this diamond is your standard default sprite that it uses for all active objects. We don't want our player character to be this diamond, right? We want our player character to be like, let's say, a rectangular paddle. Again, I'm going to be making some very basic graphics here. We're going to learn later how to import more fancy graphics, but we want to make this into something that, you know, it looks like a rectangle. So I'm going to double click on my active object. Now here's the thing. If you double click fast on your active object, it will open this up. This is your sprite editor. We're not going to look at everything that's in our sprite editor today. We're going to look at some basic things. So the first thing I'm going to do to make it easier for me to work on this is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to zoom in. That's this icon right here, the little hour, like a magnifying glass. When you hover over it, it says zoom. We're going to just move that slider up so it fills more of the screen here. So we want to get rid of this thing, right? We don't want this diamond to be here. So the nice thing here with Clickteam Fusion, we have a button that will clear it for us right out of the bat. So once I come over here and click this, and it looks like a blank sheet of paper. That's going to give me this box here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to want to go ahead and, okay, I want to make a rectangle. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find my rectangle tool here. So I'm going to go over to my rectangle tool. Now by default, the way this works is when I click my left mouse button and drag, it's going to make a rectangle that's kind of empty on the inside. And it's going to give me this white outline. I'm going to make a basic rectangle here. Now I don't want this outline to be white. See how it's a white outline there? I'm actually going to undo that by hitting Control Z. Because what I want it to be is I want it to be actually a green one. I want to have a green rectangle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go over to the color picker here. You see all these colors on the right side? If I click on one of them, it's going to change the color. So you notice how on the bottom here, I went from having a white box here on the bottom to a green one. This is our active color. This is the color that the drawing tool we're going to use is going to be using. So now that I've picked my green color, I'm going to make my box. And of course, I don't want that box to be completely empty. What I want to do is I want to fill it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here, and you're going to see there's this paint bucket tool. It's called the fill tool. We're going to click on that. We're going to make sure that our color in the box here is the color we want it to be. And then we're going to go inside the boundaries of this rectangle and just click. And there we go. We have this nice green rectangle. Now you're going to notice that I have all this extra space around my sprite here. Really, the only part of my sprite I want is right here where the green is. I don't want all this empty space. As we come over to our selection tool right over here, I'm going to click on it. And then this works like, again, if you've used anything like Canva or Photoshop, you're going to go to the corner of the thing you're trying to select. You're going to left click and drag your mouse. Now this is going to create a box. Now this box is called a bounding box, and it shows the boundary of the thing you want to keep. Once I have this selection selected, what I can do is I can go ahead over to the crop tool. This crop tool here, when I click it, will get rid of everything except for what's in the bounding box. And you'll notice, well, my bounding box kind of grabs some extra stuff here. So what I can do is I can click off of my sprite and just redo my bounding box. And now you'll see that it's completely covering the green, nothing else. Then I hit that crop tool. This is one of the most useful tools we have because now we'll only have the computer seeing this green part as the sprite. Then I hit OK, and you'll see that it is now in my game. Now, obviously, this thing is way too small to be my player character, but that's okay. You'll see when I come out of the sprite editor, it has these bounding boxes around it. It has these little dots. So what I can do is I can go to the right side and just stretch. You'll notice that when my cursor goes over the box on the right side in the middle, it goes left and right. If I click and hold, I can stretch it as much as I want. I can do it to the other side as well. I can do it to the top. I can also do it to the bottom. Now I don't want it to be too large. I'm going to make it about yay big. You can also go diagonally bigger and smaller. That will like shrink it like height and width. Usually I try to avoid doing that unless I'm scaling the entire thing.